driveway, and she said it was blurry. She said, they said, did you see Kelsey and Tory get into a physical fight? She said, no. I saw them bump each other, and they asked her to describe what that meant, and she really couldn't. She said, I think they bumped into each other, and I saw both of them coming towards me, but it's just really, really, really blurry.
And this is after the shot, so all she saw was that they bumped into each other.
That they bumped into each other and came towards her. That's what she said. And then she said she doesn't remember what he said at that time. But you recall, she first said that he started saying, I'm sorry, don't say nothing, I'll give you $1 million. But now she says, no, I don't remember what he said. It's all a blur. And she said shortly after they got back in the car, that's when they heard.
So she does not repeat on the stand that Tory offered her $1 million. Right then.
Not at that time. She says that all she remembers is later when the cops, she said as soon as they heard sirens in the background, that basically Tory started to panic and was like, oh, don't say nothing. I'll give you $1 million. I'm on probation. I can't go back to jail. Some bullshit like that. And so what I feel like fucked Megan up majorly was saying, well, I didn't know where I was. The defense tried to get Megan to outline where she was in the street, like where did the car stop and what was this and what was that. Megan claimed that she was about to walk home, but she said that the phone was dead or dying, so you couldn't use your GPS. Megan said she didn't know where she was, but said that she lived up the hill and was going to walk home. So did you know where you were or not? Did you know where you were headed or not? Like, come on, it don't make no sense. She said Kelsey was in the car crying. She was crying. And they said, had you ever seen Kelsey with a gun? And did you ever see Kelsey with the gun at night? She said, no. They said, did you know that Tory had a gun? She said, no. Were there any other injuries, like to Kelsey, like not that she knew of, and that she was bleeding in the car, and that, you know, Kelsey was being of assistance to her? And she said that I told them that I stepped on glass because of the George Floyd situation. I was taken to the hospital. They were mistreated.
And not to cut you off.
Huh?
And not to cut you off, did they ask her that prior to the situation, once she got in the car, did she, because, you know, Tory didn't have a shirt on.
Right.
He just had, like, swimming trunks on. Did she see the gun before? Like, was it on the center console?
She
like,
did she not seen the gun before? And when they said, they made a really good point. She said on the stand, I didn't have no gun. Kelsey didn't have no gun because we had the bikinis on. So we didn't have no one that had no gun. So the defense said, well, where did Tory have space to have a gun? Because he just had on swim trunks. She said she don't remember what he had on. She doesn't remember.
Okay.
She said in the black community, it's not acceptable to snitch. That's why she didn't want to cooperate. And that's why she lied about the glass. She didn't want to be cooperating with authorities. And she said, when you're a woman and you say a man did something to you, don't nobody believe it. And she said that the industry is nothing more than a boys' club. And she felt like everybody was going to hate her. She said that.
Did she answer why she got back in the car with the nigga who just shot at her 5 times?
Yeah, I will read it, but I believe that she said that she was just scared. She was nervous. She needed to get home. She know she was. It had happened so fast and like she didn't know what to do. Like she put it like she was just so in shock and didn't know what was going on.
Did they ask the question of, did Tory force you to get back in or did you willingly get back in?
They didn't ask her, did he force her to get back in? But they said, and you got back in the car, and why did you get back in the car? And then she answered as follows, you know, which was okay, well, I got back in because, you know, well, it was in the middle of the street, it was late, it was dark, you know, whatever the case may be. But she said it was so blurry. And then she goes into not remembering all of the key shit. Megan didn't remember nothing that would have incriminated her damn self. She remembered everything that was simply, he shot me. But every time they asked a valuable question, I don't remember all that bullshit. And to the point where it was getting agitated. Because it was like, girl, come on. Even when it came to the luggage, they said, Megan, what was yours in the car? Like, was this your purse? Oh, I don't know if that was my purse. I got a lot of bags. Shit like that, being a smart ass and shit. Let me see. She said she had surgery and that they took the bullet fragments out. She said she had physical therapy for a few months, every day at first, and then on and off, and that she couldn't even walk for a while.
For a few months?
She said she had physical therapy for months.
Was twerking part of the physical therapy?
That's what I'm trying to understand, because we saw Megan soon after the shooting, and she looked just fucking fine. But she said she was in physical therapy for months, and she said she couldn't walk for a while, and that she couldn't feel the left side of her foot. She said she still got nerve damage, and she can't really feel the left side of her foot, and that the back of her feet are always sore. That's what she said. They showed us the regular ass pictures. They brought up how Tory texted Megan that night after the shooting. They put the text on the screen saying, "I'm sorry." And then Megan claims that Tory texted her from another number and said, "I see you on live and I can see the pain in your eyes. I hope you get through this." And that she was just taken aback that he would do this to her and then tell her, I saw you, I'm watching you. And she made it sound like a threat, kind of, when she said it, like, "Oh, you watching me, you see me, you see the look in my eyes."
Wait. What day was this? Like, when did he send her the text?
When he sent the text from the other phone.
Yeah, but is this directly after it happened, or like months later or weeks later when she's on Instagram Live?
They didn't even get into when that could have come in.
Okay.
At all. I will tell you, Tamika Mallory was there. Desiree Perez was there. T. Farris was there.
Desiree Perez was there.
Desiree Perez was in the building.
Rock Nation Honcho.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Did they get into? Did she admit that she was giving Kelsey a severe case of the beats?
She denied a physical altercation completely with Kelsey. She said they never had a fight.
So, how did she ever explain why they found acrylic nails, Kelsey's pendant,
right,
and basically like proof that she was getting thrown around like a rag doll?
She said there was never a physical altercation between her and Kelsey. And then she says that when the shooting happened, they got out the car, bumped into each other, and came towards her. Now, make it make sense, because this is happening very quickly. Because remember, the police come and get the phone calls was placed 4:22, 4:26, and shit like that. The police is hemming them up by like 4:30. The message that Kelsey sent to Justin was at 4:27. So, babe, this is happening very, very, very rapidly. So, make it make sense, Megan. Something happened, and a witness states he saw a woman get out of the back seat and attack the woman in the front, and that it spilled off into the street. She categorically denied the whole thing, said there was no physical altercation between her and Kelsey, and she did not speak to a physical altercation between Tory and Kelsey. They said, "Megan," this Kathy Todd talking to her people, "You a private person?" And she say, "Yeah." They say, "Are you having a hard time opening up?" That's when Megan started with the tears and said, "Yeah, because I got to sit in front of people who will spread misinformation about me and then my attacker, but I don't want to be weak, and I don't want to give them the power that I feel like they had over me for the past almost 3 years." And so they said, "Megan, did you hear anything?" And she said, "Gunshots." They say, "How many?" She said, "I don't know." They played the audio of the gunshots, and they said, "Was that it?" And she said, "Yeah." And she said yes, but she shook her head no. And she did that a couple of times, and that was very interesting to me, those micro expressions when she did that bullshit, where she would answer the question verbally one way, but she would nod in a yes motion. I wish to God that y'all could see the way that she behaved today. Very theatrical. Nancy Dillon even called her animated today. And I think that was the proper term. It was a lot for a little bit. And her energy absolutely shifted after talking to the people when we came back from lunch. Megan was much more reserved at first. She had her moments at the beginning, but when she came back after lunch, hollering, getting real smart, getting real arrogant, it was a completely different attitude.